Recently, Brazil have been struggling quite a lot. Currently, they're fifth in the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. How has this happened? Well, on the 8th of January 2024, they appointed new head coach of Brazil, Dorival Junior, as their new head coach because the previous head coach was just really not kicking up any good performances. So we're going to talk from when he was coaching. So the first game in 2024 that Brazil participated in was a friendly against England on the 23rd of March. I mean, this was obviously a great match. I think they played it at Wembley, if I'm not wrong. Brazil did manage to win 1-0, seeing as Endrick, obviously the young Real Madrid superstar striker right now, managed to score, and apparently like he was looking cold. This was all before his Bobby Charlton interviews. And then the following three games were all friendlies, the first of these being a 3-3 draw with Spain, followed by a 3-2 win over Mexico. To be honest, 5 years ago they would have beaten Mexico like 4-0, let's be honest. And then a 1-1 draw with the USA, who the USA will, they had to finish off this last friendly. They wanted to win, but 1-1, that's quite a terrible result from Brazil, I'll be honest with you. On the 25th of June 2024, Brazil started off their Copa America campaign against Costa Rica, where they drew 0-0 against Costa Rica, guys. I mean, seriously, that is definitely a terrible performance from Brazil, let's be honest. By the way, they were in Group D with Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. Seemed like a group that they should be able to top. In the second match day, they beat Paraguay easily, even annihilated them 4-1, with Paraguay also getting a red card. And then in match day 3 or 4, Brazil drew with Colombia 1-1. Barcelona star Rafinha scoring in the 12th minute, and then Munoz scoring just before half-time. By the end of the group stage, Colombia finished first with 7 points, Brazil in second with only 5, Costa Rica third with 4, and then Paraguay last place with 0 points. In the quarterfinal, there's no round of 16 in Copa America. In the quarterfinal, they were faced up against Uruguay, who ended up finishing third in the whole Copa America. It was, I don't want to say a boring 0-0 game, but yeah, 0-0 with Uruguay also picking up a red card, and then Uruguay won 4-2 on penalties, meaning Brazil were knocked out, Brazil were knocked out before Canada. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how the current head coach, Dorival Junior, is still the head coach after this unimpressive campaign, and the friendlies obviously not the best, to be honest with you. Obviously, we can't put all the blame just on the head coach. Like, Vinicius Jr. has been really quiet while Brazil. Obviously, he's like the main contender for the Ballon d'Or this year, but his performances for Brazil have been like Timo Werner at Tottenham this season. Last season. So, nothing too spectacular. And then on the 7th of September, Brazil returned for the World Cup qualifiers, where they beat Ecuador 1-0. And then in their most recent game on the Wednesday, the 11th of September, Paraguay v Brazil, Paraguay did the unthinkable, right? Paraguay won, Brazil 0. Diego Gomez scoring in the 20th minute led Paraguay to this spectacular win, to be honest. Meaning that with 8 games played in the World Cup qualifiers in South America, Brazil have 10 points, which puts them down in 5th. To be honest, we need to be asking some really big questions about Brazil, because this team is known as probably the best national team of all time. They've won the most World Cups. I mean, they're like the inventors of the sport, but some could argue England invented it, so that's obviously chaotic. I think these are their worst performances, definitely, in the last, since I can even tell you or remember. Brazil have to find themselves before the World Cup in 2026, because they could be majorly humiliated, and they could be in big trouble.